Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Raidraptor Yugioh deck profile for post-Phantom Nightmare. We got some pretty awesome cards for the Raidraptor deck in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set, including the new rank 13 boss monster Raidraptor Rising Rebellion Falcon, which has some incredible protection plays along with some heavy, duty burn damage it can deal to your opponent, along with some new main deck monsters, spells, and traps, and one more Strix extra deck monster to cover the new support we got for the Raidraptor deck, which focuses on rank up Xyz summoning out multiple Raidraptor, main deck monsters to then overlay into our many different Xyz monsters, and utilizing the Dark attribute with some of the other cards we run in the deck as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For our new Raidraptor monsters, we're running 3 copies of Raidraptor Bloom Vulture. If you do not control any face-up monsters other than Wing Beast monsters, you can special summon both this card and 1 Raidraptor monster from your hand. If you control no monsters, you can target 2 level 4 lower Raidraptor monsters in your graveyard, including this card. Special summon them in defense. You can only use 1 Raidraptor Bloom Vulture effect per turn. It only once that turn. And you cannot special summon the turn you activate this effect except for dark monsters. So it's a really great setup card for a rank 4 Xyz play, being able just to grab 1 other Raidraptor monster along with itself, and then use them for an Xyz play. And then if they're in the graveyard later on, be able to do so once again. We have our new rank 5, my apologies, Raidraptor Brave Strix, but the easiest one to go into is Raidraptor Force Strix, because then you have the option to use this for more additional search for our other monsters. We're also running 3 copies of the new Raidraptor Noir Lanius. During your main phase, if this card was normal or special summon this turn, you can target 1 Raidraptor monster you control, add 1 Raidraptor monster with a different level than that monster from your deck to your hand, with a different level than the monster from your deck to your hand, and you can banish this card from your graveyard to increase the level, or decrease the level, of all Raidraptor monsters you currently control by 1. You can only use this effect of Raidraptor Noir Lanius once per turn, so this can grab other cards like Pain Lanius, which is a level 1 monster that can be summoned out into the field just to extend your plays, just for some burn damage. Being able to search those different level Raidraptor monsters is definitely an added bonus. The one thing is I'm missing a spot for the Pain Lanius. I don't know where all of my Pain Lanius went, so I'll show you what card I would replace for 1 copy of Pain Lanius in the deck to have for the search target of this. But other than that, having the level increase means we can use Noir Lanius along with cards like Bloom Vulture to then be able to go into our rank 5 monsters like our new Raidraptor Brave Strix all the easier. And then also 3 copies still of Raidraptor Tribute Lanius. This is the first deck in which we are not running Vanishing Lanius. You just have so much more faster setup with cards like Bloom Vulture, and we are also running a different Wing Beast monster that helps with the consistency that Vanishing Lanius used to do. But back to Tribute Lanius. During your main phase, if it was normal or special summon this turn, you can send 1 Raidraptor card from your deck to the graveyard. During your main phase 2, if this card was destroyed in an opponent's monster by battle, you can add 1 Rank Up Magic Quick Play spell from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon a monster for the rest of this turn except for Raidraptor monsters, but having that rank up quick play just adds a good variety of different search that we may need for any of those cards, but also being able to set up other cards like Bloom Vulture in the graveyard all the faster to use their second card effect for their Xyz plays. I also run 3 copies of Raidraptor Strangle Lanius. If you control a dark monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn, except dark monsters. If you control an Xyz monster with a dark Xyz monster as material, you target 1 level 4 or lower Raidraptor monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but effects are negated. So it's more setup, and then just another easy special summon, way better, I would say, than Fuzzy Lanius. For its special summon plays, just need to control a dark monster, so we have the variety of other monsters as well to be able to search off of this card to use. And also 3 copies of Raider's Wing. Now, with this card being at a 3 of, if I were to have the Pain Lanius, I would take out 1 copy of Raider's Wing for the 1 copy of Pain Lanius. So we have the different leveled monster to be able to search off of our Noir Lanius. With Raider's Wing, it's always treated as a Phantom Knights card and a Raidraptor card. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can detach 1 material from your Dark Xyz monster to special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn, and an Xyz monster whose original attribute is dark and has this card's material gains the effect that your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. So extra protection, but another easy special summon, which you can get around the banish play just by using Raider's Wing as an Xyz summon, which is what you'll do for most of the plays anyway. And then for some of the lower numbers, 1 copy of Raidraptor Mimicry Lanius and 1 copy of Raidraptor Singing Lanius. Just an easy special summon with Singing Lanius for just controlling an Xyz monster. And with Mimicry Lanius, once returned in the main phase, if it was normal or special summon, you can increase the levels of all Raidraptor monsters you currently control by 1. So, in tandem with cards like Noir Lanius, you can increase the level once and then another time to go for a rank 6 Raidraptor Xyz play without needing the rank up spell. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard, in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, adding 1 Raidraptor card from your deck to your hand, which can add cards to our hand just for more of the setup, like the new continuous spell Raidraptor Boost, or even our Raidraptor Nest, whatever we need for our specific combos. And then lastly, the 3 copies of Simorgh, Bird of Perfection. With this card, while face up on the field, it's also a wind attribute. You can only use each of the following effects of Simorgh once per turn. During your main phase, if you normal or special summon a winged beast monster, you can reveal this card in your hand. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 Simorgh monster. And if this card is normal summon, you can send 1 Simorgh monster from your deck to the graveyard to add 1. But you don't really use that play in this deck. This card is just in here, so you have that additional normal summon of a Simorgh monster onto the field, being Simorgh the Bird of Perfection, to continue your Xyz plays, because for a lot of them you just need the winged beast monsters, and some of them are also just generic, with the last of the main deck monsters being 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, just one of the hand trap spots along with infinite impermanence in the deck to use, being able to stop any of your opponent's graveyard setup or any of their searches. Moving on now to the spells. I have 2 copies of Raidraptor's Nest in the deck. You only really need the 1, but the 1 spell I was missing was Rank Up Magic Skip Force, which was just a rank up magic that allows you to, go up 2 ranks, and then also have some special summon power from the graveyard for its banish play. So you can take out 1 copy of Raidraptor Nest for a copy of Skip Force if you have it. But Raidraptor's Nest, if you control 2 or more Raidraptor monsters, you can add 1 Raidraptor monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So more search power for a good variety of different Raidraptor monsters, especially all the new ones that we run also. For the Rank Up Magic cards, we run 1 copy of Rank Up Magic Soul Shape Force. Just a good way to pay half your life, special summon 1, then give you a monster that's 2 ranks higher on the field. Still love the Cyber Dragon Infinity play that you can make with this card, since it just has to be a monster that is 2 ranks higher. The new Raidraptor's Force with this card. During the main phase or your opponent's battle phase, target 2 or more Raidraptor Xyz monsters you control and or in your graveyard, including a monster on the field. If at least 2 remain face up on resolution, special summon 1 Raidraptor Xyz monster from your extra deck with rank equal to their combined ranks, and if you do, attach the targeted monsters to it as material. This is treated as an Xyz summon and transfer the materials to the summoned monster. So this, I would say, is one of our best ways to be able to get out our go-to boss monster in the deck, which is our Raidraptor Rising Rebellion Falcon. Being a rank 13 monster, we have to add up all the different ranked monsters to do so, but with it you can just use a rank 5, a rank 4, and 1 more additional rank 4 monster in the graveyard to be able to summon this card out, or even a rank 8, a rank 5, you name it. You have plenty of numbers to use to get this card up to your rank 13. You can also use cards like Rank Up Magic Force for its banish play, and we also run the Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Launch to be able to use cards like our Dark Rebellion to then go into cards like Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon to have more of a monster effect negation still in the deck also. And then also the 1 new copy of Raidraptor Boost. If a Raidraptor monster is special summoned from the extra deck to your field, except during the damage step, you can add 1 Raidraptor spell or trap from your deck to your hand, except for Raidraptor Roost. And you can target 3 of your Raidraptor monsters that are banished and are in your graveyard, place them on the bottom of the deck in any order, and draw 1 card. So Roost just helps with draw power and recycling your Raidraptor monsters. And we also have search power as well for our other cards in the deck for that summon. Being able to add a Raidraptor spell or trap means the Raidraptor's Force rank up spell, since it has Raidraptor in its name, can also be searched off of this card. And then also 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. I really do like this card in the deck just because lots of graveyard plays with some of your Raidraptor monsters can be utilized just by setting them up and stopping an opponent's monster effect thanks to Forbidden Droplet, and then also having it so they can't react in response depending on what you sent. With the last of the spells being 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent and the 1 copy of Call by the Grave to finish off our spell lineup, just stopping hand traps or, any of the monster effects to resolve more draw power or take our opponent's resources. And then for the traps, running one copy of the new Raidraptor Glorious Bright, once again being a card that can be searched off of Raidraptor Roost for having Raidraptor in its name. If you control a Raidraptor monster, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, or if you control a Raidraptor Xyz monster, target one face-up card your opponent controls. So depending on what you have, an extra benefit for what you want to use this card for, and then being able to negate that card's effect until the end of this turn. And you can banish this card from your graveyard to target one of your Raidraptor monsters that is banished from your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So more recycle power with this card also. And then lastly, for the traps, the 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, just along with the Ash Blossom, a hand trap of choice to use against your opponent, depending on the play you want to go for. And now moving on to the extra deck for our new boss monster. We have the 1 copy of Raidraptor Rising Rebellion Falcon. Needing 5 level 13 winged beast monsters is insane. Never thought I'd see that on a card. It's unaffected by other card effects. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can destroy as many cards your opponent controls as possible. Then if it has 3 or more Raidraptor Xyz monsters with different names as material, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined original attack of the destroyed monsters. And once per turn, you can detach 3 materials from this card to target one Raidraptor Xyz monster you control in your graveyard. And this card gains that monster's effects until the end phase. So depending on the Raidraptor monster you go for, you can hit some pretty interesting effects thanks to Rising Rebellion Falcon. But the big play comes down just to the burn damage that you can provide with this card and the ease of access to get to it thanks to some of our other rank up spells that we run in the deck. I also run 1 copy of the new Raidraptor Brave Strix. With this card, a Raidraptor Xyz monster that has this card as material gains the effect. It gains attack equal to its rank times 100, so that's an additional 1300 attack to Rebellion Falcon if you have Brave Strix as an Xyz material. You can only use one of the following effects of Brave Strix once per turn, and only once that turn. You can detach 1 from this card to set 1 Raidraptor spell or trap directly from your deck, and if it has an Xyz or Wing Beast monster's material, you can detach 1 material from this card to add a rank up spell from your deck to your hand. So you have the search and setup for cards like Raidraptor Glorious Bright and Raidraptor Roost, Raidraptor's Nest, you name it. Plenty of cards and rank up spells that you can set up thanks to Brave Strix, allowing that to be taken care of for the spell and traps with Brave Strix. You then have the monster search. Thanks to Raidraptor Force Strix, which we're running 2 copies of. It gains 500 attack and defense for each Winged Beast type monster you control, other than this card. And once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card to add 1 level 4 Darkwing Beast type monster from your deck to your hand. So you have the search for the good majority of all the different monsters we run in this deck. So being able to add them all thanks to Force Strix definitely makes it a 2 of, just so you have multiple search options to use. And with just how easy it is to use Force Strix and for the fact that it's not a once per turn, you have plenty of cards to search out and use thanks to this card also. And also, for the other Raidraptor cards, 1 Revolution Air Raid Falcon, just another rank 6 monster, with more of the power-up and setup for your opponent's cards on the field. The Satellite Cannon for more spell and trap destruction. The Ultimate Falcon for the rank 10 Xyz monster that's unaffected by card effects as well. These 3 are just some bigger boss monsters depending on the rank to go into. You have the rank 4 and 5, and then the bigger rank 13, which you use by combining their Xyz monsters together, but you also have some level variation to use with these ones also. For the other monsters, 1 copy of Raider's Knight to go for more of the search for our Xyz monsters or our Raidraptor monsters as well. The 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, the 1 Dark Requiem, and also the 1 Cyber Dragon Infinity, and the 1 Divine Arsenal Zeus to finish off all of our Xyz monsters, with our Link monsters being 2 copies of Raidraptor Wise Strix, having more setup on the field for our Raidraptor Xyz monsters, and being able to set additional rank up spells, just needing 2 Darkwing Beast monsters to summon out this card, and the last of the Link monsters being the 1 copy of SP Little Knight for more banish options against our opponent. If you don't have SP Little Knight, Nightmare Phoenix, or even Nightmare Cerberus can be a replacement for this card. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, the setup I really do like is with the new Raidraptor Bloom Vulture. Just having the available special summon if you do not control any face-up monsters other than Winged Beast. You can special summon both this card and 1 Raidraptor monster from your hand. If you control no monsters, you can also target 2 level 4 or lower in your graveyard, including this card. So you're just going for the first special summon play if you have the 2 in your hand. So let's say you have Noir Lanius and Bloom Vulture for this play. You can then use the setup with these monsters to summon both of them out onto the field. You can use your Noir Noir Lanius, then with this card to increase the level of your monster. You can also have the search to search out the Pain Lanius if you want to have one additional extension with this monster, being able to banish this card from the graveyard to increase or decrease the level of those cards. So first you'll go for the rank 4 Xyz play with the 2 since they were just special summoned out thanks to your Bloom Vulture going into your 4 Strix. You'll then detach the 1 off of 4 Strix, so you'll make sure you detach the Noir Lanius to then use your 4 Strix to search out an additional Raidraptor monster. You can grab your Singing Lanius off of this, and you haven't even taken your normal summon yet as well. So with this, you can special summon out the Singing Lanius. And if you have your normal summon, all the better, because then you can have your Tribute Lanius summoned out as well. For the normal summon, it's all the better if that's the play, because then Tribute Lanius can send one Raidraptor card from your deck to the graveyard. You can then use this card to send and set up your Mimicry Lanius in the graveyard with one of your one-ofs. Being then you have a search off of the Mimicry Lanius since it was sent there. You can then use your Noir Lanius as banished to increase the level of both of these to overlay them into your next Raidraptor monster, which is your Raidraptor Brave Strix. You'll have the banish off the Mimicry Lanius as well to then be able to search and set up your Raidraptor Nest and activate this card. And since you control 2 Raidraptor monsters, you can add a Raidraptor monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So then with this, you can add your Strangle Lanius. Strangle Lanius can then be summoned out as well. And then you can use the special summon to summon this card out. And then with your Brave Strix, with this play, you can detach 1 from this card to set a Raidraptor spell or trap from your deck. So detaching 1 off of this card means you can then set your Raidraptor boost onto the field and activate your Roost. And if a Raidraptor monster is special summoned from the X deck to your field, except during the damage step, adding another Raidraptor spell or trap. So with this, all you need to do is go into 1 additional Xyz play, which can be done with the summon of your additional monster. You got the Strangle Lanius onto the field off of the search from the Raidraptor Nest, and then being able to target a Raidraptor monster in your graveyard thanks to Strangle Lanius summoning it onto the field. Going for 1 more additional play, you can then overlay the 2 into 1 more 4 Strix, detaching the 1 to get an additional monster search to your hand. But then you can use the 2 monsters to go into a link summon of your Raidraptor Link monster. And then you have the search from Roost from that initial special summon to set up your Raidraptor Force on the field as well, which then gives you the play in turn to then use the 3 Raidraptors we mentioned before to then go into your Rising Rebellion Falcon. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, Raidraptors has always been one of my favorite decks to use in Yu-Gi-Oh! Just for all the support we've gotten way back during R5, and glad to see we're still having support to this day. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.